What up, YouTube? Asian Persuasion here, and I'm here with my boy Bortle,
Yes.
and we're also here at YCS Indy with the first place winner. Introduce yourself, and what did you play, my friend?
My name's Steven. I won YCS Indy with Rescue Ace, Sinful Spoils.
Nice.
For some reason, Konami Vlog didn't put it on initially, and so all the EU streamers were losing their mind thinking I was just insane not playing it, instead of just assuming that I played it. So I took great laughter out of that one. But yeah, I played this deck. I think it's probably the best deck of the format, not by a super large margin, but it's what I was practicing last format, and considering how strong it was, I figured I'd play it for this event as well.
Definitely. And before that, check out this trophy of his. You know, he has to remember this in his profile. He got the ultra rare prize card trophy, you already know. And yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into the profile and see what you play, man.
So my theory with this deck list was that consistency is good and engine is good. Like the strong engine, if this deck goes second very well as long as you don't draw the traps. Or HQ, but even HQ is fine in some scenarios. So I just want to max out on a lot of my starters just because playing is good and it pushes through hand traps a lot really easily. So I played 3 Earthwitch standard. I played 3 Hydrogen still. People cut this down to 2. I think it's reasonable to play 2. I don't think it's wrong to play it. But like I said, I just want consistency. This card isn't great by itself. With any other combination of cards, Allure, Emergency, like it plays through the majority of hand traps. It's a good discard because, again, you can do shenanigans by banishing it. So I decided to play 3. I'll probably continue to play 3 going forward. I do side the second one out a lot, going second. All my engine pieces, I don't side out any going first. If you're going first, you want all your engine, and you're just switching up tech cards. 2 Turbulence, 2 Preventer, I think pretty standard. One thing to keep in mind with Turb, second threat comes up a lot, especially when they're picking apart your boards or half boards. If they go to pop something or negate something, you can emergency out the second Turb, and then it's a pop. And then Preventers, I think we know what this one does. It's really good. It's important to keep in mind what you're keeping banished and always have something deal something back off of it. Then I play 3 Impulse somewhere.
It's in there.
There's 3 Impulse in here somewhere.
It's all good.
And the Fire Engine. So the reason I decided to play this at 3, because a lot of people are thinking about cutting it down, is in any mid-range matchup or control matchup, this card is the best card in your deck. It allows you to pull ahead with Engine, which means that when they're trying to cut you off with Engine, it just becomes very, very overwhelming. And a lot of people against this deck, I shouldn't say people against this deck doesn't have good choke points, so you just kind of have to hit them early and hope it's enough, because once it starts playing and starts going, there's just so many ways back to turbo and so many ways back to your power plays, and this just ensures you get there. In the mirror, it's insane because you just set up your opponent's turn, and like you saw, if you watched the feature match in the finals, I broke the full board game 1, so even without this, but if you have this, it's even easier. You're just pushing through with the engine. The parts of the engine that go second are really, really strong, and you want to always have them. You do side out in some matchups, like the heavy combo matchups, you can side out for my hand traps, but other than that, I think it should be at 3. I played the Developer package, so I played 1 Witch. Card's also insane for consistency. The reason I didn't play more of this is because if it gets interacted with, it's just a neg 1. So if I summon this by discarding something without this in circulation, then you just lose a card for no reason. So I don't want to play multiples of it because it's the neg like that. And the deck's consistent enough, I think. Sometimes you get hand trapped out, but I don't think adding more of these necessarily fixes those issues super large amounts. Going second, you usually, if you open 1, you want to hold this till later because it's more likely that this is going to resolve, and so you get the draw to dig for more ways of playing through. And then rescue spells, so 3 Emergency, HQ, Alert, Rescue, Extinguish, Contain. Like I said, I was playing this all last format, and I tried ratios of sighing out one of these, sighing out the HQ, and I just learned to keep all of them in. Every game, you go second, doesn't matter if you're playing against Zodiac, FGK, you're keeping them all in. They come up, and you want the Turbulence to be as strong as possible, and you need this for your grind game. So yes, it sucks to have these kind of this draw isn't bad. These draws are completely fine. It sucks to kind of have 3 Garnets in your deck that are a subpar draw, especially going second, but if it happens, it happens. I think a lot of times you can still hand jump to death, you still have a lot of tech space, so it's not the end of the world, but you don't want to try minimizing engine in order to have more tech spots. That is not the point of this deck. If you want more tech spots, play a different deck. And then other consistency cards, I played 1 Rhoda, and then 2 Pot. Everyone's gonna lose their mind because people hate playing 2 ofs, but the deck's consistent enough. I decided to play 2 because it's a little bit more consistent on top. I never want to open 2 though. If I open 1, cool, lets me dig. If I don't, then that's fine. You never resolve the second one, and a lot of times you want to push for game shot, or you have a limitation on the extra deck, which you'll see later. So it's just, I see the 1 of occasionally. Other than that, it's fine without. And then tech spots, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm. So I think these are kind of standard, the Ashes and the Imperms. Obviously, this is like the best hand trap of the format, best hand trap of almost every format. Impermanence is good because it plays around talents. And then I decided Veilers over like Nib or anything else. I think that it's just the most flexible. And I think one of the problem with a lot of decks is if you let them start playing, then if you have Nib or a big blow hand trap, it just doesn't do enough. They've already played. Investigators can play through Nib once they start playing. Tier can play through Nib once they start playing. It's just dead in other matchups. I find playing this, which is like a marginal card, it's not great, but it's always going to be useful, and I just have enough faith in my engine that it's good enough that I don't need to try blowing my opponent out with insane tech cards. Speaking of insane tech cards, I said I play 3 Econ. It's like a staple of mine.
Best card in the game.
It's insane. You just get so many 2-for-1 interactions off this because in the mirror or tier with Celic or Beauty, like this, or even if you're just dodging Imperm, there's so many ways where they burn an interruption and then you chain this to take a monster. So now the Imperm or whatever they use didn't work, and you're forcing out something else, or you're just taking something from them. And it's so good with the Devil Star because usually people feel pretty safe hitting the Devil Star with a contain or something in the mirror match because you can't emergency to dodge. And then you just do this dodge, and then you just get more like. You get the set, you get another draw from it, and then it forces out negate, or you just steal like their one rescue ace and then they just can't play. So that's the main deck 42 because I can't deck build to 40. I think it's fine though, the consistency isn't going to change that much. I guess I'll Escher first. I decided to play the Firewall package still. So this is a 6-card Firewall package. All these guys, I mean Link Reaper's just fine by itself. All these guys essentially just climb into this guy sends this, which is Omni Spell and Trap Negate in the grave, and then on your opponent, that's you send in your turn. On your opponent's turn, you send this, which is just target card on field negate to the end of the turn. And the reason I decided to play this package instead of any of the other packages was, there's 2 reasons. One, it plays no bricks, and 2 is that you are never have to greed. And so the issue with a lot of the jet lines is that if you open like the Bellstar and Airlifter, both these cards get the Hydrant. And so if you let them get the Hydrant off the Airlifter, and then you Ash, Imperm, Veiler the Hydrant, this doesn't save your position at all. You can't get the Turbulence at all. And so anytime you go this for Jet Synchron, while you're going this for Hydrant, it means that you're gambling on your opponent not interacting with Hydrant. And the way to hand trap this deck is very weird. There's no consistent way. It's more gambling on what cards you think they have in their hand to play through it. And so people will do, I didn't say incorrect things, they'll just do different things because they try and play around different things. And when you gamble with this, and they summon the Hydrant and you hit the Hydrant, you now get punished and you now lose. And it doesn't make sense for me to play another Garnet in the deck or a subpar draw at the same time of playing it worse into hand traps. And so I just decided to play this because anytime I open both of these, I know my Turbulence is resolving unless they have 2 hand traps, 3 hand traps. Because this is always getting the Hydrant, this is getting to Emergency. Depending on what I discard off this, I can get the Turbulence on the 4th summon. If not, I'm going SP with Turb. They nib. Okay, cool, tag out. Emergency summon Preventer, Preventer revives the Turb. So that's just the reason for that. People complain about the amount of extra spaces it takes, but these are, if I'm going first and I have Prosperity, I will banish everything but these and an SP. I do not need other cards in the extra deck. The cards are good. This is obviously board, Firewall, like even this when you're going for your half boards, ending on Firewall with Prodeco Cocker to add back is really good. And the other reason I play this full package of 8, because there is a 6 package, is because this combo gets you to add back, which means your emergency is better because you can add back Preventer, so your emergency summon a Preventer, sending the Preventer from your hand, you're getting a Book of Mood, so it's an extra interruption. Also when you're doing half boards for climbing, this is follow-up, or adding back a hand trap, or an interruption. So I just like the flexibility. And then other tech cards, so 1 SP because, well 2 SPs. 1, you always keep off Prosperity. This is 8 cards, this is the other card you keep off Prosperity. If you're going second, then you can banish more of those, it's fine. I usually go 1 to play around Imperm. If you don't have a way of extending through it, then there's no reason to play around Imperm, you just eat it and end on SP or IP into SP. But if you have good gas hands, especially when you open Dayball Star and Airlift or Turbulence, then you have the luxury of being able to go SP and force it out early and dodge. IP because it's a good card, especially with SP. And then the other ones I just thought were the most generic. Wolf, Hida, Access Code, and then 1 Typhon. So this card was pretty good throughout the weekend. It is one of those cards that you can't really theorize about because it's like, what game states will this come up in? And you're like, well, people full combo, and then like this doesn't really crack a board, so it's useless. But it just comes up in really weird grind games. People love theorizing about Yu-Gi-Oh! And going, oh, this always happens, and then this is the end board, how you crack it. It's like so much nonsense happens. People open bricks, you hand trap them weirdly, like just things happen. And this is just one of those cards where it's not going to seem great in theory because there's no like real end board it cracks, but it just comes up in weird game states. And it's also nice because you can make your board, if you know you're playing against a deck that has a lot of 3000 stack monsters, you can just slap this down on the end of it after you've cracked it, because then it's an additional floodgate for it. So I 100% recommend playing this going forward. Even if it doesn't seem good, if you start looking for the lines, then it feels a lot better. Then side deck, I just decided to play more hand traps. I didn't want to play breakers because a lot of people were on Omni Negates for Rust Grace, so I just decided to hand trap them to death. 3 Droll, which is more for Vanadium tier and whatnot. 3 Shifter, I'm kind of these going forward. I only play 1 tier all event, but it hits your deck too much. I was just like really scared of tier. Thanks to Herman for that. So I decided to put this in last second, but even the 1 tier I played, I just decided, I full cracked the board game 1, so I just decided not to put it in game 2, and it should just be like Druid Swarm or something. It could be really anything. And then 1 Pink, 1 Cowboy. I never made this. The mirrors, all our matchups get really grindy. I actually went to time 3 times a day, never came up with this, but I don't usually go to time. I usually play pretty quickly. So this coming up was, having this extra deck may have come up. The format it's good because you get a lot of back and forth games, but on the other side you have to play cards like this. The one nice thing though is if profiles start playing these cards, then at least encourages people to speed up, because otherwise you're gonna lose this and that's not fun. 1 Duster, because that's the only back row removal I played, and I fortunately didn't need any other ones. And then 3 Spellbound. I just wanted some Pearly hate. I played a fair bit of Pearly, so it was good. It answers the Yeep, which is just the main thing, and then has some other applications versus like Flu and Chimera.
Nice. Any shouts you want to give, Steven?
Shouts to the entire Council of Rabina, as well as all the Hamilton guys I came with. Also special shout to Nigel and Rayhan, especially Nigel, who's just screaming at me about the Firewall package for probably about 3 months now, about how it's better than every other end board ever. They were the ones that put me on this deck initially, even after a lot of protesting from me, because I didn't think it was that good initially, but definitely did well today, so I'm on the up for that.
Definitely. Well, congratulations on getting first place. You're the champion of YCS Indy. Congratulations again. Give it up for them, boys. You guys are on here. I see y'all. Congratulations and thanks for the deck, bro.
Thank you.